Let's play! Whoa! Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. You all may call me Pharaoh, and welcome back to Let's Play the Prologue chapter of Project Eden's Garden. Last time, we actually started and concluded the investigation of the dummy body, which apparently is apparently a replica of a murder that actually occurred at Eden's Garden Academy years and years prior, supposedly. But yeah, we're about to have our first class trial right now. Now, I'm assuming I'm not going to talk as much in this video because just like the Danganronpa series, these class trials are usually fully voice acted, so I'm assuming the same here. And just like the other games, it's always a good idea before you go into a class trial to review your... excuse me, what the hell was that? Review your truth bullets before we actually get started with the trial. So, or your evidence, whatever you like to call it. So we have our tablet, which basically goes over the investigation itself. You know, who the victim is, Kara, who was the ultimate teacher's aide. She was stabbed 28 times in the torso. She also had chemical burns to the head, but most notably around the eyes and scalp. And that the important thing, I believe, we have to really notice here is that the cause of death is blood loss. Not the actual wounds itself, like the actual stabbing and the chemical burns, but the blood loss from them. So, whoever actually committed the murder was pretty malicious with it, you know, wanting a slow death, and it's just terrible. And also to note that the time of death is unknown. We also have a bloody knife, which we can assume is the murder weapon or part of the attack. Has blood all over it. We have the assault rifle that is fully loaded, by the way, that was next to the body, and that also has some blood on it. So yeah, the big thing here is that it was fully loaded, apparently not used. We also have a bucket that was in the janitor's closet that's empty but smells like bleach. And I believe Desmond did mention that on the shelf there was an empty container of bleach. So I think those go hand in hand. And finally, we have the victim's hands, which has dried blood underneath the victim's nails, but the rest of the hand is clean. So what I can assume with that is that she was fighting off her attacker, was scratching at them, and got their blood underneath her fingernails. But regardless, I believe, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get going into the class trial. Actually, really quick. Yep, still normal. All right. Let's begin this class trial and see exactly what's going to happen and take it from there.
Let's begin with a brief explanation of the class trial. The objective here is simple. Explain how the murder took place. Using evidence you've gathered during the investigation, you will argue what you believe happened to the victim. Should you all agree on the right answer, you will be free to leave this place. Should you all agree on the wrong answer, well, you'll find out. That's all there is to it. Have fun, everybody.
Somebody, get me out of here.
If this is something we must discuss, I know a good place to start.
Get me out of here, 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 get me out of here! Ah! Somebody get me out of here! What happened to her? Oh, shit! They fried her brain!
Calm down, it's only a shock. She won't suffer any permanent side effects. If I wanted to see the brain dead bigger, I'd just turn on the telly. On that note, please, carry on.
Alright, well, they're not freaking kidding around here. You gotta love Grace's enthusiasm, just like oomph, in deliveries there. I gotta say, I'm actually really enjoying the voice acting. I shouldn't say actually, like I'm like really surprised. They're doing a fantastic job. I believe one of my viewers mentioned that Grace's accent is meant to be either British or Australian. I'm not really sure if it's like, you know, exactly nailed down. And frankly, I'm not sure myself. I'm sure maybe it is listed somewhere, like where she's actually from and whatnot, but regardless of the accents, the deliverables of and deliveries of the voice acting and the lines, I really quite enjoy. So, holy shit, the people running this thing aren't playing around.
As you were saying, Wolfgang?
Right. The way I see it, the objective of this
By the way, can I get like a seat with this thing? I'm just gonna be an onlooker. It's only fair.
You're seriously not going to contribute?
What am I even supposed to do?
Put your detective hat on, buddy. We're here to solve a mystery.
Yeah. Who murdered that dummy chick, right?
Not who murdered her, how they murdered her.
Did that tablet not explain it?
It listed her wounds, yes, but it didn't explain how they were inflicted.
Probably because it's so obvious.
But, Miss Amber, you didn't even read the tablet.
And I don't have to.
Would you look at that? A debate's already underway.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing when it says unintelligible, but hopefully Grace will be okay momentarily. These guys are clearly confused. I need to stop them before they arrive at the wrong conclusion. Oh gosh, did you hear that? That's the sound of a non-stop debate approaching. During non-stop debates, your classmates will speak one after another without interruption. Students may say things that contradict the truth, and it's your job to determine which statements must be broken in order to progress the trial. For your ammo, you've been armed with the truth bullets you gathered during the investigation. Truth bullets that are relevant to the debate will be loaded into your truth cylinder. Use the mouse to aim your reticle and press the right key to fire. You'll want to aim for words highlighted in gold. Those are the weak spots. A lie or contradiction may be hiding within a weak spot. Carefully compare your classmates' statements to the evidence you have gathered, and use the correct truth bullet to destroy the relevant weak spot. If things are flying by too fast, use the spacebar to concentrate. This will temporarily slow down time. Speaking of time, be sure not to run out of it. That's an automatic game over. Not that someone of your caliber would ever fail. Oh, thank you. Anyway, press the F3 key to revisit these controls whenever you wish. Actually, before we continue here, I see that there are different tabs here. So here's how the HUD is going to look like and whatnot. And here are the controls. Oh, it's Q to cycle. That's good. That's good to know. I was going to use my mouse wheel. I don't know if that's even allowed. Fast forward with shift and concentrate with space. Okay. And F1, F3 to look at the truth bullets and controls. Oh no, I can use my mouse. Okay, to cycle the bullets. Good. Silencer, crap. Is that more so, I think that's to get words away from the weak spots. I think that's what it is. I could be incorrect there, but okay. This all makes sense. That's all for now. Don't jump to too many conclusions. I'm going to try my best. All right, our very first non-stop debate, and our truth bullets are assault rifle.
The mystery was never about who killed Kara, but how she died.
Is that true?
Objection! It's obvious what the murder weapon was.
I didn't get a good look at the crime scene, but the body was pretty bloody.
And what could have spilt that blood besides that big, scary gun?
Ah, that's right. There was a gun.
You hear that, lawyer man? She agrees.
Okay, that was the entirety. Usually for a debate, I'm probably going to let the debate go first without having to, like, contradict anything. So I just want to hear everything at first. And I think there's only two weak spots, right? Like the murder weapon and the gun. Now, I'd like to think that we actually use it on the murder weapon because it's not guaranteed. Actually, that was not the murder weapon. We know that already. So that's where the contradiction lies, I believe. The loudest voices in the room aren't always the smartest. Fortunately, an uninformed argument is never difficult to shoot down.
The mystery
All right,
was never
let's
about
go ahead and
who
we can also
killed
fast
Kara,
forward a
but
little bit. There you go.
It's
Objection.
obvious what the murder weapon
Nope.
was.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, so It's probably better I concentrate and then shoot it. So let's do that again. Sorry.
Obvious what the weapon was. Let me finish talking.
Why? What happened? Damn it, I shouldn't have said that. Really? So here's the problem when it comes to, like, anytime I play, like, Ace Attorney or even Danganronpa. My thought process is not always on a colon line or, you know, just, if you want to say, make sense of what the game wants you to do. Perhaps I'm jumping the gun a little bit, or perhaps I'm thinking in a different matter that the game wants you to say, no, that's not it. So maybe it's gun instead of assault weapon or the murder weapon. Damn it! I shouldn't have said that.
The mystery was never
All right.
about...
Let's just wait until she says
And what spilled
the
that
big
blood
gun.
Besides that big scary gun.
There you go.
That's wrong.
Cassidy, can you stop butting in? You barely investigated the crime scene to begin with.
Whoa, what? I searched that place from top to bottom.
All right, then tell me, how was a fully loaded assault rifle used as the murder weapon?
That's easy. It wasn't. Obviously, the shooter reloaded their gun to full capacity. Any smart shooter could tell you that. Right, Desmond?
Why are you bringing me into this?
Except, the victim suffered multiple stab wounds to the torso. If a gun was fired, not only should the body have had bullet wounds, but there would be shell casings from the fired bullets. We saw neither at the crime scene.
Details. If the gun didn't do that, chicken, what was the actual murder weapon?
So I guess I'm a little bit confused right off the bat why my thinking or my logic didn't coincide with the murder weapon weak spot. Because he basically came up with what I said is like, well, yeah, we know the gun is not the murder weapon. That's a contradiction. Bah. But we had to use it on gun instead. Perhaps I'm thinking about this too damn much, but at least I know I was, in my own thought process, I was correct. The actual murder weapon? Oh, that's obvious. Is it obvious, though? What was the actual murder weapon? It was a damn ladder! No. It was, out of these, I actually do want to say the ladder, just for the hell of it, but let's go with the knife.
I got it. The bloody knife. It's just so blatantly obvious. It was literally right next to the victim's body.
Cam's razor gotta ruin everything.
Interesting. Both the knife and the rifle were present at the crime scene, but only the knife was used.
Kind of weird, choosing the inferior weapon.
Nothing beats the sting of a sharpened blade.
If the killer didn't use the rifle, why was it at the crime scene?
Maybe it came from inside the closet.
Don't see why you'd be storing a gun in a janitor's closet.
Man, I don't know. What if it's not even related to the murder?
Of course it's related. It's covered in blood.
Oh no. Everyone's starting to yell.
This debate is getting out of control fast. I need to say something. Okay, we got another non-stop debate coming up. This time with what? The tablet and the assault rifle.
To reiterate, both the rifle and the knife were next to the victim's body.
Yet they opted for the knife. Odd choice.
I bet that gun didn't even work. These days, it's all about aesthetics over effectiveness.
That's like your opinion, lady.
If the gun was broken, then the killer would have no reason to bring it with them. And yet, they did.
Watch it be for the aesthetic.
Now, see, I'm a little bit iffy on that. I thought that if the words were blue, that meant you, like, agree with them. But what's kind of throwing me off is we're stating that they assume the gun doesn't work. But is that the case? I don't know. It's easy to assume the killer was the one holding the gun, but oh, are we saying the killer? We're gonna contradict that with the assault rifle? Hold on a minute. Can I? Hold on. Considering the details of the victim's death, I'm inclined to think otherwise. So it's the...
reiterate,
Hold
both the
on, hold
rifle
on, hold
and
on.
the knife.
Oh, we're just gonna keep going. So I'm wondering, do we use the tablet or do we use assault rifle when it says the killer? It's fully loaded next to the victim's body, speckle of blood. Here it just talks about the victim themselves, so I guess it doesn't matter. Let's just try assault rifle first, see what happens.
We're next to the
I'm not sure
victim.
who said it.
For the odd choice.
I bet that gun stays.
I think it was Winona.
The gun was broken.
Let's try this.
Then the killer.
Nope.
Are you out of it? That has nothing to do with anything.
I'm sorry, I'm stupid. Ugh, I need to think this over. Alright, so I guess let's try tablet this time. What happened?
Then the killer.
There you go.
No, that's wrong.
Stop that thought right there. If we keep assuming the killer had the gun, we'll end up running in circles.
What? You think the killer was unarmed?
No, they were definitely armed. With the knife. The reason they didn't use a gun is probably because they never had it to begin with.
But then, who did?
Easy. The victim.
Whoa, the dummy had the gun?
If it wasn't the killer, it has to be her. She must have brought it to the closet. She was probably carrying it before the murder, but dropped it when the killer attacked her.
Oh, I guess that makes some sense.
Complete sense.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Aren't you overlooking something?
Huh?
The victim was stabbed from the front, meaning she could have seen the killer coming, correct? If so, why didn't she shoot them?
A stealth attack! I bet the killer memorized her AI movements.
That girl must have been killed before she had the chance to defend herself.
That's not technically true. There's evidence of a struggle between the victim and the killer.
Specifically, evidence that shows the victim attempted to fight back. And like I mentioned, it's her hands. She has dried blood underneath her fingernails, making it seem like she was scratching the hell out of them. Yes.
This is it. We found dry blood under the victim's fingernails, which implies she was clawing at her attacker. Of course, no explanation is definitive without photo proof of the killer, but I'm confident this is what happened.
Why would you resort to scratching when you're carrying a gun?
Did something get in the way of her using it?
Wonder if that killer stole it from her.
She should have seen or heard him coming from the hallway at the very least.
Why do you think she was in the hallway?
That's where the fight happened, right?
I think you're getting ahead of yourself. How can we be sure the fight happened there?
Maybe the fight started in the hallway, and after it ended, her body was dragged into the closet.
If that happened, shouldn't there have been streaks of blood on the floor or in the hallway?
Drag marks? Can't say I saw any.
It was merely a jest. No need to take it so seriously.
Instead of dragging the victim, what if the killer carried her? I don't know why they would want to do that, but it would explain the lack of drag marks.
But then, wouldn't the killer have been covered in
blood? Aye. It should have gotten everywhere. Those wounds were brutal. A few inches deep, I reckon. Carrying her would have done nothing to stop the blood flow.
Good point.
She was obviously killed in the closet. That's where the blood was?
Yes, you're right. I'm so sorry for derailing the conversation.
Moving on. That fight. The victim had the gun, but she was overpowered?
If she wanted to, she could have just, you know.
It doesn't make much sense, does it?
There must be something we're missing. Something that explains how the victim was overpowered. And I know I'm the only one who can figure that out. Wow, okay, don't even give your, classmates a chance. Alright, I'll talk about agree points. So they did bring this up already in the second non-stop debate. I'm like, isn't it? Yeah. So I knew this already from the other Danganronpa games, so there you go. During the last non-stop debate, you would have noticed that some phrases were blue. Bet you weren't expecting that, huh? Those phrases are called agree points. They are the counterpart to weak spots. As the name would suggest, if an agree point aligns with the evidence you've gathered, you can use your truth bullets to prove it correct. Simply aim your reticle at it, and you would, as you would have a weak spot, and shoot. In your pursuit of the truth, you must be prepared to corroborate your classmates' testimonies. When it would be wise to do so is for you to figure out. Good luck! Yeah, thanks a lot, game. I'm sure I got this. I'm 0 for 2 of these debates, but we'll see. Bucket, tablet, and victim's hands.
That slimy killer pulled a fast one and knocked the gun out of her hands.
By the sounds of it, those two did have a crazy tussle.
But she still carried a gun. So why didn't she shoot?
I bet that girl didn't even see them coming.
Maybe she thought the killer was her friend? I know I wouldn't hurt a friend.
She tried clawing their eyes out.
So I think maybe I can... The way I'm looking at it is maybe when they say they couldn't see them, maybe that's why she was clawing like crazy, because she was blinded by something. So maybe that's what I gotta do here. We'll see. Why did the victim not shoot her attacker? Everyone's got a theory, but who has the actual answer? I'm also trying to think, what the hell could a bucket be used for, but...
And knocked the gun out of her hand.
Yeah, I think it may be victim's hands with seeing.
That girl didn't even... Appreciate the support, but you're not talking any sense, mate.
I am terrible at these freaking, these non-stop debates. What's going on? Not even the pirate is No, now even the pirate is scolding me. What was I thinking? All right, let's take a look at this again.
Killer pulled a fast one.
We have the tablet, right? Suffered chemical. Oh, chemical burns to the eyes and scalp. The eyes. So, like, damn it, I had the logic, but I'm not I'm jumping ahead of myself. It's tablet.
And not.
But she still.
Let's see here.
That girl didn't even.
There you go.
I got it.
John actually has a point. The victim probably couldn't see what was going on. According to the tablet, she suffered chemical burns to the face and eyes. That sort of injury would have effectively blinded her. Also, inside the janitor's closet, there was a large empty bottle of bleach. That's probably the chemical that caused the burns.
Blinded? With bleach? That's horrible.
All that pain, yet she still managed to fight back.
She sure put up a struggle. Without a gun, I guess the next best thing was her hands.
So the killer was definitely the one who blinded her.
Indeed. Knowing she had a gun, he blinded her to make her less dangerous. Then, when he pinned her against the door and stabbed her, she tried to retaliate.
Until eventually dying from her wounds.
Jeez, this is brutal. Couldn't they have toned down the violence?
The past is in the past, and we can't change that.
I mean, by the sounds of it, we've already figured it out, right?
No, not yet.
Seriously?
But we've already discussed so much!
We know she was armed. We know she was blinded. We figured out how she died. How is this not a closed case?
Please understand, I'm proud of everyone's hard work so far. Because of you, we're one step closer to bringing the victim justice.
This was never about the dummy.
However, we should think of this case like an equation. Knowing how it works is only half the struggle. Now we need to figure out why.
As in, the motive?
Mm-hmm. You're on the right track.
You speak like we have any information on the killer. The man's a stock image. He doesn't even have a name. What are we supposed to ascertain from that? That he's a non-character?
Not every answer will be written down for you. Sometimes actions speak louder than...
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold the phone!
Grace?
Whoa, what? Since when was Grace back to normal?
Right now, Soybean. Watching you guys try to solve this mystery has been like watching a dumpster catch on fire. I guess all that smoke must have clouded your vision, 'cause there's a big-ass elephant in this room.
An elephant in the room?
That's giving us too much credit.
So the killer incapacitated that girl. She had a gun, it makes total sense. Problem is, you've yet to explain how he used the bleach.
I sort of assumed he spilled it on the victim.
Right. He just tipped the bottle over her.
That bottle is where the bleach came from, sure. But I doubt the bottle itself was involved in the murder. When we found it, it was neatly ordered on a shelf near the back of the closet. The gun and knife were just thrown on the floor. So it's weird this weapon was handled so differently.
Do you think the killer just poured the contents of that bottle into something else?
Sure, before the actual murder took place, I'd say.
And what is this something else? Go on. Explain it before this dumpster turns molten.
She's really stubborn about this, but I get the point she's trying to make. Before we can move on from the subject, we need to make sure its logic is completely sound. Alright then, let's put out this fire. Oh god, am I even gonna get this one right? What do we have here? Tablet, bucket, victim's hands, and the assault rifle.
Well, if the original bottle's been emptied, where'd the bleach go?
Into another bottle?
What about a container? There were a bunch in the closet.
I bet the killer had a secret water gun. So when the victim came in, pow! He squirted her in the eyes.
Hey! The ink vanishes when the battle's over.
Call the fire brigade, Grace.
Alright, so here's my thinking for this. Can we not just say that it was the bucket? Like, as used as a container? It does reek of bleach. Like, that's what I'm assuming it is, but I'm probably gonna get it wrong. To inflict those chemical burns, the killer had to use something. But what?
Well,
like, I thought they poured it into the bucket and
emptied,
threw it at them, maybe.
Where'd the bleach go?
Let's see.
Into another.
What about a container?
I got it.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. I'm smart for once.
She's correct. The killer put the chemicals in a bucket. Or, more specifically, the same bucket we found at the crime scene. After all, it reeked of bleach. If the killer didn't use it to transport bleach, what else did they use it for? Personal cleaning? I doubt it.
Yo, that makes sense!
A broken clock is right twice a day.
Okay, cool. So, how'd the killer use that bucket to spill bleach in the victim's eyes?
It would be a fairly heavy bucket, so it's unlikely he threw it on her.
She'd shoot him before he even had the chance. Use your brain, mate.
Of course, my apologies.
It'd really be too heavy? Like, okay, maybe I'm just assuming here. It's a good question. How was the killer able to get a hefty bucket of chemicals into the victim's eyes? Especially without her knowing. There must be some kind of clue missing here. Think, Damon, think.
Even if he did manage to splash her, the girl should have sustained intense facial burns. However, aside from her eyes, her face was relatively untouched.
Well, if you check the tablet, it said she had burns to the scalp, too.
Burns to the scalp? How does that work? Unless those chemicals came from above?
See, that's what I was thinking. You know, like that good old classic a bucket of water prank? You like put it on top of like a door that's slightly ajar, and when somebody opens it, it's gonna fall right on them. I'm assuming that's what happened here. Above. Yes, that's right. Above.
Did the killer somehow suspend the bucket in the air? Maybe there was a mechanism that made it tip over when someone entered the room.
Where's this bucket supposed to be again?
Above. Which, well, could mean anything.
Was the killer hiding above the door frame?
There's no way they were up there. There's nothing for them to sit or hold on to. Not to mention, they couldn't have stabbed her from up there.
And if there's no place for the killer to sit, then there's no place for the bucket to sit.
Unless you take into account the size difference. The space above the entrance might not be able to support a person, but it could still support something as small as a bucket.
And that thing supporting the bucket?
The killer wanted two things. For the bucket to be above the victim, and for it to spill on her when she entered the room. In other words, he needed to balance the bucket. But on what? Well, the only thing that makes sense would be the door itself. Perhaps the stepladder was what the victim used to possibly get on top, you know, above the door frame to put it on there, maybe? Because I have a feeling I know exactly who it is and why they would need a stepladder, and regardless, it's the door.
I got it. I don't know how we overlooked this, but I've got it. The killer just balanced the bucket on the door.
Like in those water bucket pranks people film?
Exactly. When the victim came into the room, she pushed open the door and caused the bucket to fall on her. This would make it so she couldn't shoot back or even get a chance to see her assailant. When the bucket hit the ground, it probably rolled away. That'd explain why we found it a couple feet from the victim.
That is a possibility, yes.
It sounds like the best conclusion.
There's just one problem. How was the killer able to reach that high? Unless they were abnormally tall, it'd be difficult to place something on top of that door.
Well, let's use that as our next point of discussion. How did the killer set up this trap?
To balance that bucket on the door, the killer would need to reach pretty high. Was there anything at the crime scene that they could have used as a boost? If I can answer that, it'll add further credibility to my theory. Spot selection. Oh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's going to be obviously the spot. Dear God. Yeah, it's the spot. It's the ladder, step ladder, whatever the hell you want to call it. Yeah.
This is it. There was a stepladder hiding behind the closet door. The killer probably used that. After climbing it, they could position the bucket right on top of the door.
Figures.
My precious stepladder? You think the bad guy used my super duper obvious stepladder?
Match point. Occam's razor.
Yes, it appears our killer didn't care much for subtlety. No matter how obvious it seems, it's the only answer that makes sense.
It was the only knick-knack of its kind, too. If there's something else that killer could have used, it's escaping me.
I see. It makes sense with what we've got so far. But I'm not done yet. I still have one last question for you apes.
Please just leave us alone. Oh, I'm so tired.
Hey, don't be like that. Grace may be loud, but her questions have really helped our discussion.
Anyway, what was the killer doing when that bucket poured onto the girl's head?
He obviously didn't just stand there and observe.
I have to agree. They must have been hiding somewhere, waiting for her to arrive. Somewhere nearby, I'd assume. I would figure they would have been in the janitor's closet. Let's see, outside the closet, which I don't think so. They would have seen them. On top of the door frame, no way they're going to support them. Behind the door, I guess is likely, but the back of the closet, didn't they say that it's pretty hard to see back there? So I like to think it's this.
I got it. I've got it. The killer was hiding in the back of the closet. If he was pressed up against the furthest shelf and facing the entrance, there'd be a diagonal path between him and his victim. I say diagonal because that's the only way you can make a direct charge forward. Also, when the victim entered the room, she would have been standing with her back to the hallway, right outside the killer's range. That's why the stab wounds were only made to her chest.
Creating the crime scene we found! Great job, guys! We're actually doing this!
That was the last mystery, right? We must have put everything together now.
Even if it's all fake, I feel really bad for this victim.
It's an ugly sight, but she's no victim.
Huh?
Well, technically she is, but let's be real. The girl was carrying a gun. She probably provoked the killer, and they killed her in self-defense. It's a clear-cut case of the hunter becoming the hunted, no?
That's no excuse.
What?
There's no justifying murder. Killing a woman is the worst thing a man could do.
You're emanating a sizable amount of emotional tension. Are you okay?
There's no excuse. There never was an excuse. 28 stab wounds! No girl, no person should ever suffer Kara's fate.
Wait, who's Kara?
It was the victim's name! Didn't anyone read the tablet?
I agree with you, dude. But you don't have to shout out your point.
Oi, what's all this about? We figured out the case. Stop trying to drag it on.
No. We're not finished here.
Huh?
There's no murder without a proper motive. We need to discuss why Kara died.
I am not going this far for a fictional murder case. We aren't looking for a murderer. We're looking for answers, which we have.
Do you turn in a half-finished exam, Winona? An essay without its conclusion? This isn't about efficiency, this is about being right. Or do you, a supposed entrepreneur, not value integrity?
What the hell?
Let's just talk about the motive. There's no harm in doing that, right?
Well, what was the motive? Was the killer fighting for their life? Or were they going out of their way to murder?
Maybe the gun freaked him out.
If I was in the killer's shoes, I'd definitely be nervous. Thing is, while acting out of self-defense is possible, since when does it look like this?
Given the severity, I'd liken it to a crime of passion.
Something done on impulse?
What if they were frightened? A spooky thing might have set them off big time.
That's wrong. There's no way this was done in self-defense. No matter what excuse the killer uses, it doesn't change the fact they have blood on their hands.
Yo, bud, you seem a little pressed.
Silence! I won't allow this!
The hell? Okay, freaking Wolfgang. We'll figure this out. Non-stop pathos? Okay. Wow, things are getting emotional. While you've only been using logical arguments to further trials so far, now might be a good time to change your approach. Introducing the pathos mechanic. During non-stop debates, the emotionally charged commentary of your classmates will appear as purple text. These comments are called the pathos statements. You can absorb these pathos statements by hovering over them with your reticle and pushing E, or LT. You mean like the bumper, or well, you know what? I don't have a controller with me right now, so, or not plugged in, so whatever. The pathos statement will then be loaded into your truth cylinder. Find a weak spot that is directly contradicted by the pathos statement and fire. If successful, you will make a powerful emotional argument to counteract your opponents. And okay, stay on the lookout for pathos statements. While you'll always be able to advance the trial using pure logic, emotional arguments can lead to some unique conversations. Okay, this should be kind of cool. So let's see what we got here. Tablet, bloody knife, assault rifle, and whatever the pathos statement is going to be.
To kill Kara so easily and without restraint. There is no way to justify this.
Take a chill pill, man.
You expect me to stay calm? This was the sadistic killing of one of humanity's brightest!
We shouldn't make a lot of assumptions about the killer's morals. This could have been self-defense.
You don't even know the damn killer. Just the crime scene they left behind.
This killer, dead or alive, deserves to be brought to justice!
But how can we do that? There's no reason to trust you if you have no proof.
So says the ultimate liar.
Okay, well, I have lawyer's intuition. I'm not really sure where the hell to fire it at, though. Ugh. Okay, like, it was crime scene. That was to contradict, but then there was a few, like, agreeing points here. We'll see. Was this murder justified, or was it truly unforgivable? I feel like I have an obligation to find the truth. Alright, well,
Kara so easily
let's see what we got here again.
There is no way to justify this.
Okay.
Take a chill pill, man.
You expect me to stay calm?
No, not at all.
This was the sadistic killing.
It was the sadistic killing. That wasn't it.
I don't see how that relates to his point.
Oh, I made a mistake. I'm doing terrible.
Kill Kara so easily.
Still here though. It's good.
Expect me sadistic killing of one of you.
We shouldn't make assumptions about the killer's morals.
Okay.
This could have been self-defense.
You don't even know the
Well-
damn killer. Just the crime scene they left behind.
This killer, dead or alive, to just.
But how can we do it? There's no reason to trust you if you have no proof.
So says the ultimate liar.
Like, do we go like no reason to trust them? Or do we go with self-defense? Let's try the self-defense one. I don't know why the hell this one's not really making too much sense with me.
Moral. This could have been self-defense.
Yeah, so maybe we'll just agree with her.
How does this prove anything?
I don't know. I made a mistake. I'm doing terrible here. Alright, so let's do one of her last statements, though. What was it?
Dead.
How can we do that?
Right here.
There's no reason to trust.
There you go.
No, that's wrong.
Alright, let's hope I got that. Let's hope I can still survive this.
Expertise shouldn't be overlooked here. If there's anyone to believe, it's the lawyer.
Say what?
Wolfgang has spent his life in the courtroom and on the crime scene. He'd understand the criminal mind in ways we can't possibly imagine. He was even emotionally invested in a murder case he'd never seen before. If his lawyer's intuition tells us that the killer was in the wrong, then we have no reason to disagree. We're all ultimates for a reason. We need to trust in talent.
Well spoken. If Wolfgang is adamant about the killer's intentions, we should have faith in him.
Yeah! Wolfgang's clearly trying his best for us.
Let's trust in the lawyer and his bargain bin buddy.
Hey!
If it means going home, then new guys convinced me.
Right on! Team Wolfgang all the way!
Thank you all for your support.
Well, Eva, do you still disagree?
Even if I did, it's not worth pursuing.
Does this mean we're done here? Hey! We're Disembodied Voice! We figured out your stupid case. Now let us leave!
Oh, you're finally done. In all honesty, I stopped paying attention a long time ago.
What? We only went through this case because of you.
Silly me, I have a short attention span. So, just for my own benefit, why don't you summarize the information you've learned? It'll be good practice.
Practice? Uh-oh.
Fine. I'll do as you ask. I'll present the truth.
We'll present the truth together. Let's dig into it.
Alright, oh, closing argument. I always love these in the Danganronpa games. It's time to bring this trial to an end. It's time for the closing argument. During closing argument, you must summarize the case from start to finish. Naturally, your medium will be a comic book. Since the class has a relatively good understanding of the case, some parts of the comic are already complete. But it seems your peers have glossed over the smaller details, judging by those gaps in the story. To fill these gaps, you have been provided a collection of stock panels. Use the WASD keys to navigate your stock and press the space bar to select a panel. Hover your mouse over the relevant gap and press the left key to insert the panel. If you wish to undo your selection, simply press the space bar again. And before we continue on, let me take a look at the other images here. So, navigating, switching the pages, good to know. Selecting and deselecting the panels and then inserting it. Don't forget the Q and E keys. That's how you flip between the pages. By the way, gaps will reveal a hint if you hover over them. If you ever need to revisit the information, the control panel is only one F3 key away. Now stand up straight and fix that tie. You've got a case to close. Well, I'm in my PJs, so... Oh, that just went directly there. Okay, so... Where did the killer hide? So... Wait, no, how do I... Oh, it's up here. So they were in the janitor's closet. Awesome. Where was the victim? I don't mean to hover over this, but like, yeah, why the hell not? So, what was the victim carrying? They were carrying... well, a bucket, but where the hell's the bucket? No, let me flip the pages. Here we go. Because we have We have opening the door and going up the stepladder. How do you reach the door frame? That was the stepladder. And we also have... what's left of our panel? Opening the door. So... no. How was it triggered? There we go. I gotta solve another panel online. What the hell are they talking about? How are these... oh. I was like, how come... I was trying to get this one. I was like, why is it not opening? Clawing at their neck. They were doing this. And then what else we have here? Assault rifle. They were carrying that. Right? No. The victim was carrying this. Okay. Finally, we have bleach. And what did the killer pour into the bucket? Bleach. Okay, there we go.
I got it.
The controls are a little clunky there, but maybe that was just me trying to get used to it.
The victim was Kara Koshkinen, the ultimate teacher's aide. Right before her death, she was wandering around the academy carrying a large assault rifle. That was probably when our unnamed killer, who was armed with a knife, spotted her.
And decided he'd put her to eternal rest. He slid inside that little janitor's closet, where he began hatching a deadly scheme.
Aye, they needed a way to surprise the victim, who was better armed. The killer grabbed a bottle of bleach from the closet and poured its contents into a bucket.
That's because they wanted to blind Kara by splashing the bleach in her eyes.
Sneaky little bastard.
But to do that, they would need to set a trap and catch the victim by surprise. The killer moved a stepladder behind the closet door and climbed up it to reach the doorframe. There, they carefully placed the bucket.
That way, when the victim opened the door, the bucket would empty its contents all over her.
After completing this setup, the killer retreated to the far end of the janitor's closet and waited for the victim's arrival. The killer could have made noise to attract the victim's attention. Either way, the victim tried to open the door.
And, the bleach splashed all over her. Her scalp, face, and eyes were severely burned.
Youch!
The killer leapt from his hiding place and began viciously attacking Kara. In his fit of rage and cruelty, he stabbed her from the front 28 times.
While being stabbed, the victim tried to fight back by clawing at the killer. This left the dried blood under her fingernails. However, it didn't deter the killer, and the victim eventually died.
At present, we don't have enough information to reveal the killer's true identity, but their actions haven't been forgotten. That is the truth behind this case. Well, are you satisfied?
A measly 3 acts. Poor Horace would be beside himself.
Who the hell is...
No one cares! We've done your end of the bargain. Now let us out already!
That is what I promised, isn't it? Alright, I'll let you leave this room. But before I do, may I be frank with you all for a second? This entire time I've been hiding behind a speaker, afraid to show my face. My heart tells me you'll react cruelly to it. However, my head, it raises a compelling argument. Who cares what others think? Shouldn't I get to have a little fun once in a while? Yes. Let's do away with these silly boundaries already. It's time we meet face to face.
Face to face?
What was that all about?
Everybody, look over there!
Toss away those pickaxes, peasants! The walls have finally crumbled. What will you do now that you've reached the other side? Will you treasure this new land? Serve it? Or will you set it ablaze? Well, peasants, have you made your choice?
Yo, what the fuck is going on?
This person, his voice.
Are you the speaker guy?
Speaker guy? No. You don't address your superiors like that. Within the halls of this academy, you'll refer to me by one name, and one name only. His Highness, the great and powerful Tozu, host of the Killing Game.
I would not have figured his name would have been Tozu, but I gotta say, I absolutely love the acting, and especially the voice acting of this guy. It's I think it fits. Killing Game? Oh my god! And though it still goes. Okay.
Well done.
Now, apologize, my voice acting for him is gonna suck, but still. Or you can call me Tozu for short.
Hey.
Hey, what do you mean Killing Game?
The show must go
Did you really think the story would end once we reached the climax of the case? Quite the contrary, this is only the beginning.
That's...
Of what?
Why the long face?
Isn't it obvious? You, my dear subordinates,
My blood is rushing.
are going to kill each other. That's like... That's not...
Come on.
That's not funny.
But then...
But you said we could go home if we solve the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
I gave you peasants an incentive. It's not my fault you took it the wrong way.
What?
What are you talking about? You lied to us!
Rubbish.
Lied? Oh, no, absolutely not. I'm a fair man, a man sworn to the truth, and if I recall correctly... Should you all agree on the right answer, you will be free to leave this place. No one cares, you've done your end of the bargain and let us out. Alright, that's what I promised. I can't say that word. I specifically said you could leave this room, not go home.
You
sneaky son of a bitch!
Not okay!
Oh, you're full of shit, man! There you go, losing control of your voice. That's how you know you've lost the argument. Logic is a cowardly thing like that. It'll jump ship the moment it's confronted with a challenge. He didn't lie, did he? He said he never lies. So when he said this was Eden's Garden Academy... Bullshit! What am I doing believing someone like him? There's no other way around it. He's lying!
Dude!
Hey, why didn't you tell us about your dumb game sooner? And watch you peasants run away.
Pathetic.
I can't host a game without any contestants.
Please don't.
Please don't do this.
I just want to go home.
I want to be with my family. Please, just let me go home.
There's no need to worry.
There's no need to cry, Miss Tallner. Huh? We're all civilized here. No one is going to kill simply because they've been ordered to. What's this? The peasant has a rebuttal?
Let's see.
A match between unprepared, unfit players. You could hardly call that a match. In much the same way, this game you've proposed, a killing game between students who don't have the heart to kill.
Nonsense.
Do you seriously think we'll abandon our morals so quickly?
Hey!
Yeah, that's totally right. We're like super boring people. We don't have what it takes to do something like that.
Indeed.
My heart is terribly soft. Softer than the most delicate piece of mochi. Is it really? Why don't you put down that fan and say that again? When I see a fly in a room, I catch the poor deer in a jar and return her to nature.
I would never.
My mochi heart would melt otherwise.
I see.
That's your argument, is it?
How interesting.
So, what has you so convinced? What do you mean? what makes you think the people in this room lack the heart to kill? Do you even know anything about them besides their names and ultimate talents?
Pathetic.
If you do, then tell me. Regarding killing, where do they stand? Are they okay with murder if it's for the greater good? Are they okay with murder if it guarantees their survival? Is where they currently stand on the issue the same as where they're willing to stand? Go on. You've had a good couple of hours to get to know everyone. That's plenty of time to learn their life stories, right? Should I take that as a no? Goodness, what a surprise.
Plot twist.
Not! You wouldn't be here all dressed up in that fancy suit if you were so naive.
Such a spoilsport.
Oh, and one more thing. That trial you just did, that was your preparation for the killing game.
Get out.
How? All you did was make us play detective.
Plot twist.
And for good reason. Plot twist. If one of you is killed, the remaining students will participate in the true class trial. Your objective here is simple. Uncover the culprits if you can. Using evidence you've gathered during the investigation, you will argue who you believe committed the murder. The result will be decided by popular vote, and if you choose the right person, excuse my hiccups, they alone will be executed and the killing game will continue. However, if you choose the wrong person, the guilty party will be set free and the rest of you will be executed instead. Those are the rules of the game. Everyone understand? All of us will be executed? That's not fair!
Isn't this lovely?
Really? I think it's one of our most beautiful rules. Everyone has an incentive to participate in the game, innocent or otherwise.
What's happening?
That's insane! You're treating us like pigs to slaughter!
Such
nonsense! All of you have the chance to survive this game. Do you think the common butcher is so merciful?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if no guilty party ever escapes, the killing game will end when there are only 2 students left. You may want to remember that. Or maybe you don't care. It depends on what kind of person you are. Out of the 16 people here, only 2 would be allowed to survive?
No shot.
2 people? That's hardly better if someone gets away with murder.
Well done.
I know! That's what makes it so funny! Most of you will die no matter what. And yet, with every passing trial, you'll all cling to life more desperately.
The show must go on.
And that exact mindset is what causes more murders to happen. Aren't these rules simply brilliant? A perfect test of the limits of human compassion.
I have an appetite.
I can't wait to see you. Oh, shit, we're gonna calm down with your destruction. I can't wait to see all of you in action. The madman's loud, tinnitus-inducing laughter was suddenly caught off by a well-timed strike from behind.
I've said it a million times, you mangy fucking mutt! I want nothing to do with this stupid game!
Ow, 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 ow! Stop it!
Since you've made it clear you won't listen to reason, I'll just make sure you have no arms to kill with!
Do you even listen to when I talk? I'm not the one doing the killing. It's you lot who are...
Holy crap, him just, like, wailing in misery. I hope she doesn't become... well, let's see what happens here. Grace drove her fist directly into his stomach. She followed it with another blow. And another. And when it looked like she wasn't going to be satisfied until he was dead, I saw it. From out of nowhere, a tiny red dot appeared on Grace's face.
Hey! Stop already! There's a...
But before we could do anything... Well, I hope none of you were attached to Grace. The sound of a gunshot echoed in our ears. No, she's still there. It looks like her cheek is hurt. Grace released the man from her grip. Speechless, she moved her hand to her cheek, which had been nicked by a stray bullet. The hell? We all looked in the direction the shot came from. The shooter stood silently by the pillar, a trail of smoke rising from the mouth of the rifle. Her mask. The design was a panther instead of a goat, but it was clear that she was working with him. You shot at her!
For real?
This is getting out of hand! Now there's two of them! Everyone slowly backed away from Tozu, suddenly fearful for their lives. What a shocking and unnecessary display of violence.
You think?
I was thinking about the golfer woman. I was talking about the golfer woman. Well, now that you've become acquainted with our enforcer, Mara, if any of you kids try to jeopardize the killing game, such as by attacking me, she'll be there to put an end to your shenanigans.
Pardon me.
Well, even though she misses her shots, that was just a warning. I assure you, it'd be unwise to further test her sharpshooting ability.
In any case.
Regardless, I finally have an answer to your previous question. Me? You asked me if I knew anything about my friends besides their names and talents.
No matter.
Truthfully, I don't, but I'll continue to trust them as if I do, because they're ultimates. Huh? They're charged with the betterment of society. They're proving themselves to be above simple acts of self-interest.
We will not succumb!
Even if you trap us, fire guns at us, and force us into farcical courtroom procedures. He's right. Grace was trying to compose herself, still completely shocked by her run-in with death.
Don't test me.
No matter how weird these guys are, they're talented. Do they really think an ultimate would fall for this bullshit? That's right. My friends and I have too much to live for too much to achieve. We won't throw all that away for your killing game.
Don't get it mixed up.
We're all gonna escape. We have to. One by one, the students raised their voices in solidarity with Wolfgang. All of them were so confident what they were saying, so willing to blindly put their faith in each other. And for some reason, it made me sick.
My.
Never underestimate the strength of the human connection. I'm quite familiar with this idea.
Hi.
What kind of captain would I be if I can't handle a small crew of 15? What is this horrible feeling of contempt? Why do I feel this way when everyone else seems so hopeful? The voice inside me was answered by another.
No.
You've got it all wrong. The students turned their attention toward Eva, surprised by her words. Do you actually believe no one here will try to kill? You're really naive. I don't know how you made it as a lawyer. Well, instead of resorting to random ad hominem attacks, why don't you explain your reasoning?
It's the truth.
It's obvious. Compared to normal people, ultimates are more prone to killing, not less. Living with constant praise from the public has ruined our sense of self. If you need examples, just look around the room.
What a joke.
Excuse me?
Look.
In the outside world, ultimates will do anything to further their own goals. The same is probably true here. Once you realize your dreams can only be achieved if you escape, you'll resort to murder.
Can't you see?
If you continue to convince all these people to trust each other, they'll only be more vulnerable. Unless that was your plan all along? Is it possible you want to make everyone vulnerable? So that it'll be easier for you to kill them? That's
enough.
Suddenly, Ingrid stepped in front of Wolfgang protectively. Wolfie's done nothing wrong. He's given us all a voice, he's given us all a vote of confidence. Yeah, it's something we all needed.
Please?
So stop trying to turn us against each other, please. The horrible feeling grew stronger as the other students had admonished Eva. It grew stronger and stronger, and I knew I had to say something. Eva's right. Huh?
No!
Damon, not you too!
I know.
Look, I get it. You want to make the situation less scary for everyone. But Eva made a good point. All of us have a clear motivation to leave this place, even at the cost of other people's lives. Whether it's to see our families again, or for the sake of our talents.
Don't say that!
No, I would never kill anybody!
That's not it.
Diana, you yourself admitted you had too much to achieve. Don't you see how that's playing into the masked man's hands? This whole we're all ultimates thing is pretty inane anyways. After meeting all of you, it's clear none of us have the same goals.
Hold on.
What are you insinuating? Don't we all carry the same obligation to improve the world that we live in? This question angered me more than anything that had been said before. I could no longer suppress my true feelings.
That's wrong.
Look, the title barely means shit nowadays, alright? Most ultimates are just dullards obsessing over some pointless hobby. Their talents don't contribute anything of worth. The only thing they're capable of is leeching off public attention for their own goals. Ouch.
You've got to be kidding me.
Running a business that feeds millions is pointless?
No.
Some of you are an exception, obviously. But come on, there's no way the rest of you can improve the world we live in with their niche fixations.
That was very...
Don't you mean the rest of us? You're an ultimate too. Yeah, what the hell makes you so special? I can feel their words worming their way into my soul. What makes you so special? Well, I can actually achieve many things with my talent. I can argue policy, consider ethics and morality.
Yeah.
Better yet, I was the one who got you guys through that trial.
Really?
Even though I jacked up the non-stop debates a few times, but don't worry about that. Is that really what happened? I remember all of us helping out.
Shrimp?
Yo, I see what's going on. You think you're better than us just because you say words nobody understands? Well, that kind of stuff is relative. Like, tell me what a dragster is. Do you know? Watch your step, lest you trip and fall from the unparalleled heights of your vanity.
Not good enough.
I'm disappointed in you. How are you so concerned about making yourself look good when we're in the middle of a death game?
The hell?
Wait, I wasn't trying to... There's no use. They turn against me, hurling obscenities, scowling, and just simply shaking their heads.
Isn't this lovely?
Ooh, do I sense anger, hatred, an unquenchable sense of bloodthirst? Well, save that for later. I'm the only person who can spill blood in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
The elevator will take you back to the killing game arena, I should say. We've cleaned up the crime scene and prepared a dorm room for each of you.
Get lost.
Thanks. Now can you get lost?
Good evening.
Okay. He returned to his podium with his masked woman trailing closely behind. The bizarre mechanism that brought him into the room lowered the two of them into the ground and out of sight.
Hey.
Still, we're not going to kill anyone, right guys? No matter what happens, we're all going to make it out of here, okay? It was only when the madman had left that reality truly began to set in. I'm trapped in a killing game with people who despise me. How? How did this happen? I just wanted to help. I wanted to make sure we didn't trust each other too easily. And now I'm being treated like the bad guy. Will these people practice what they preach? Will they really refuse to kill? I can't trust anyone here. For better or for worse, it's me versus them. So cue the beginning of the end. The beginning of an unfathomable nightmare. An unrelenting despair. The beginning of the killing game. Oh, is there like a full-blown intro that's about to play right now? Okay. Let's watch. You know, I've said it before, and I'll simply say it again. The amount of love and detail and just absolute hard work that went into this is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I frankly, I can't even believe this is a fan game. And now the bad thing is because I just found out about this, you know, like this, it's just this prologue chapter. We, the rest of the game, obviously, is not out yet. It's gonna take some time. I haven't checked the latest updates from them just yet, but once again, I'll have all their information in the description box below. But I would highly recommend that we all follow it in some capacity, the Discord or Twitter, Instagram, whatever, to see what else is coming up. I mean, look at the amount of individuals involved here, and like, once again, the voice cast is amazing so far from what I've seen. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little like blah that I didn't know about this even sooner, to possibly have a chance to audition. But at the same time, I think, let's be honest here, just because like I still haven't really gotten back into voice acting as much as I would have liked, I probably would have missed this audition anyway. But I can't believe I'm this intrigued with a fan game. I explained at the very beginning of this, like, I have nothing against fan games whatsoever, you know, but like I was always a little blah about covering them, because it's like, you know, I'd rather just cover like official stuff, and you know, like I feel like it has a, I don't know, like to me it's like worth the wait. But when I see fan games of like this caliber, that's like unique characters and settings and stories and music, even though some of the music was like remixed, still, you know, it's still a remix, you know, still had to be designed. It just really, really intrigued me. So I can't wait to see how this is going to go as we continue on here. Man, I'm literally thoroughly surprised. I really am. Because now my big thing is, like, you know, gameplay mechanics, it's pretty damn good. It's right on par, pretty much. I was a little finicky with, like, how to do the panels, like, in the closing argument, but, like, once you get a hang of it, it wasn't that bad at all. But, yeah, no, like, it's great. Like, now I just want to know if the story holds up with the rest of the, you know, the Danganronpa, like, official games. But time will tell. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So, I hope you all enjoyed this prologue of Project Eden's Garden. Like I mentioned before, I'm more than likely just going to keep playing this. Really? Hold on a minute, guys. Did I rip my damn jacket? Really? What even? Sorry, guys. But yeah, no, like, as chapters are released, I'm definitely gonna keep playing this. I have no idea, like, you know, when they're gonna be released and whatnot. So this LP could take years on and off. Who knows? But I guess it'll be interesting to see, you know, like, how this progresses, and we take it from there. So, as usual, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time for whenever Chapter 1 releases, a Project Eden's Garden. Love you all so much, and do not forget to spread that love around. Have a great day, everybody.